are luxury vehicles, and then there are symbols. Cars that don't chase attention, but quietly command it. The 2026 Toyota Century steps into that rare space, not as a loud reinvention, but as a confident declaration that luxury itself is evolving. From the moment you hear its name, there's an expectation of restraint, dignity, and purpose. And this latest century carries all of that forward while signaling something new. This isn't about excess for the sake of spectacle. It's about redefining what modern luxury should feel like in a world that's changing fast. For decades, the Century has represented the highest expression of Toyota's craftsmanship, reserved for those who value discretion over drama. With the 2026 model, that philosophy doesn't disappear, it matures. The focus shifts from simply being luxurious to being intelligently luxurious, where innovation serves comfort and technology exists to enhance serenity rather than interrupt it. Every element is designed with intention, creating an experience that feels effortless, composed, and deeply considered. As the idea of luxury moves away from noise and toward meaning, the Century positions itself as a response to that shift. It blends tradition with forward-thinking engineering, not to prove a point, but to set a standard. This is where innovation becomes invisible, working quietly in the background, allowing the occupants to feel insulated from chaos and fully in control of their environment. In the end, the 2026 Toyota Century doesn't ask for validation. It simply exists as proof that a new age of luxury has arrived, one defined by calm confidence, timeless values, and innovation that knows when to speak softly. There are moments when luxury quietly redefines itself, not with noise or spectacle, but with confidence and restraint. The 2026 Toyota Century arrives in exactly that way, inviting you to experience a vision of luxury that feels considered, deliberate, and deeply modern. This is not a vehicle designed to impress at first glance. It's designed to reveal its value over time. From the way it carries itself to the philosophy behind it, the Century signals a shift away from excess and towards something more meaningful, where innovation exists to serve calm, comfort, and presence. You sense immediately that this car comes from a different mindset. The Century has always represented Toyota's most refined thinking, created for those who understand that true prestige doesn't need explanation. In this new generation, that idea evolves rather than disappears. Innovation is woven into the experience with subtlety, supporting you without demanding attention. Technology works quietly in the background. Craftsmanship takes center stage, and every decision feels guided by a desire to make time inside the vehicle feel unhurried and composed. As expectations of luxury change, the 2026 Century positions itself as a response to a world that has grown louder and faster. It offers an alternative, one where progress is measured not by bold statements, but by how effortlessly everything comes together. You're not surrounded by complexity, you're protected from it. That is where the transformation reaches its peak, turning innovation into something you feel rather than notice. In the end, the 2026 Toyota Century stands as a symbol of a new era, where luxury is defined by confidence, heritage, and the quiet assurance that everything has been done with purpose. To understand what makes this moment significant, you have to look back at where the Century began. From its earliest days, the Toyota Century was never created to compete for attention. It was built with a different purpose, to represent the highest level of Japanese craftsmanship, dignity, and restraint. For generations, it became a quiet presence in the background of important moments, trusted by those who value discretion over display. That legacy wasn't defined by speed or spectacle, but by the feeling of calm assurance it offered to those inside. Over time, the Century's identity became inseparable from tradition. Its design evolved slowly, almost deliberately resisting trends, reinforcing the idea that true luxury does not chase relevance, it maintains it. You didn't choose a Century to stand out, you chose it because you understood what it stood for. It became a symbol of continuity in a world that rarely slows down, and that consistency built a reputation few vehicles can claim. Now, the idea of a new age carries weight precisely because of that history. For the Century, change doesn't mean abandoning its values. It means reinterpreting them for a world that expects refinement to coexist with modern expectations. The identity shifts from being purely ceremonial to being thoughtfully contemporary, while still honoring the principles that shaped it. You can sense the balance being struck, respect for the past paired with a quiet readiness for what comes next. In that balance, the century's legacy doesn't fade, it deepens. A new age in this context is not a break from identity, but an evolution that preserves its soul while allowing it to move forward with purpose. Luxury at its highest level is less about what you see and more about what you feel. With the 2026 Toyota Century, the design direction reflects a philosophy rooted in calm confidence rather than visual excess. Every surface, every proportion feels deliberate, as though nothing exists simply to impress. Instead, the design invites you to slow down and take notice of balance, precision, and restraint, creating an atmosphere that feels composed the moment you approach it. You sense that this philosophy extends beyond exterior presence. The century's design language suggests a focus on harmony, where form and function are carefully aligned. Lines are clean but purposeful, materials appear chosen for how they age rather than how they photograph, and the overall impression is one of permanence. This is luxury that doesn't seek validation, it assumes understanding. The direction is not about standing apart from others on the road, but about creating a private world within, where comfort and order quietly take precedence. As you imagine yourself inside, the intent becomes clearer. The design is guided by the idea that true refinement should remove effort from your experience. Visual clutter is reduced, transitions feel natural, and every element appears positioned to support ease and relaxation. Nothing demands attention, yet everything contributes to a sense of well-being. That restraint becomes the defining statement, allowing craftsmanship to speak without raising its voice. At its core, the 2026 century's luxury philosophy is about presence without pressure. It represents a design direction that values serenity, timelessness, and thoughtful execution, offering you a space that feels removed from urgency and grounded in quiet assurance. Innovation in the 2026 Toyota Century is not an end in itself. It is a quiet enabler of comfort, performance, and refinement, designed to serve rather than dominate. The moment you enter, you notice how technology works unobtrusively, shaping an environment that feels both immediate and timeless. Every adjustment, every system is calibrated to anticipate your needs, creating a sense of flow where control and ease exist in perfect balance. This is not about flashing numbers or extravagant gadgets. It is about elevating the way you experience the car from the first step inside. The approach to performance follows the same philosophy. The Century does not scream for attention on the road. Instead, it delivers power with a serenity that makes every journey feel effortless. Acceleration, handling, and ride quality are harmonized so that driving, or being driven, becomes an extension of comfort. The engine, transmission, and hybrid systems are all tuned to provide a seamless transition between power and calm, allowing you to feel capable without ever being unsettled. Refinement is woven through every detail, from the tactile quality of materials to the subtle soundproofing that isolates the cabin from the outside world. Innovation here is invisible yet undeniable, enhancing the senses without calling attention to itself. The result is an experience where luxury, performance, and forward-thinking design coexist naturally, creating a new benchmark for what a flagship vehicle can offer. By integrating technology with purpose, the 2026 Century redefines expectations, showing that true innovation is measured not by complexity, but by how effortlessly it elevates the way you live, travel, and interact with the world around you. The 2026 Toyota Century does more than carry a name. It carries a statement about the future of luxury itself. In a world where prestige often seeks attention through bold gestures and fleeting trends, the Century asserts that true refinement is enduring and deliberate. Its presence suggests a shift in values, one where innovation serves calm, comfort, and timeless quality rather than spectacle. You sense that the benchmarks for what defines a flagship vehicle are evolving, and the Century positions itself at the forefront of that transformation, quietly redefining expectations for discerning drivers and passengers alike. Every detail, from the restrained elegance of its exterior to the serene composure of the cabin, contributes to a larger narrative. Luxury is no longer measured by flash or volume, but by how seamlessly it integrates into the lives of those who understand its worth. The technology, performance, and craftsmanship are not showpieces. They are extensions of an ethos that values anticipation, discretion, and meaningful design. You can imagine this vehicle in the context of a broader luxury market, setting a precedent that other marques will feel compelled to follow, not through imitation, but through the pursuit of comparable subtlety and sophistication. As the Century prepares to reach a global audience, it serves as a quiet reminder that prestige does not need to shout. It embodies a philosophy that blends heritage with modernity, offering an aspirational vision of what luxury can be when it respects both tradition and the evolving tastes of those who demand more than mere appearances. In this sense, the 2026 Toyota Century stands as a touchstone for the future, shaping a new paradigm where elegance, innovation, and purpose coexist effortlessly, and where the true value of a luxury vehicle is measured by the experience it creates, not the attention it commands.